world, particularly in Nigeria. He is a firm believer that the world innovation cannot be complete without leadership contribution from Africa and especially Nigeria. Programos Foundation Africa, tapping into the digital awareness, has taken up the challenge to help the continent progress. Programos Foundation was established in 2009 by Programos Software Limited, a long-standing leader in the capital market financial technology subsector that saw the need to fund activities help realize the goal to deliver innovation-led ecosystem for Nigerians. Amos Emmanuel, Chairman, Chief Software Architect for Programos Software Group, is a prolific software designer and entrepreneur. He has served as ICT backbone to numerous financial institutions in Nigeria with over 25 years experience automating and maintaining more than 100 capital market operator organizations in Nigeria and Ghana with the multiple award-winning Cloud Integra. He is a UN World Summit Awards eminent national expert for Nigeria. Programos Foundation is engaged in significant work. It is helping Africa harness the power of technology. It is teaching Africa to innovate. The impressive and groundbreaking work that Programos Foundation has pioneered is particularly important in the light of the United Nations UN Decade of Action on the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). The Decade of Action calls for accelerating sustainable solutions to all the world's biggest challenges, ranging from poverty and gender to climate change, inequality, and closing the finance gap. Technology promises to play a larger-than-life role in this quest. Programos Foundation, through its work, offers Africa a huge chance and gives her a massive advantage. Programos Foundation may well be Africa's linchpin. Two important segments of Programos Foundation's multi-pronged approach include the Innovation-Led Africa and Smart City project. Innovation-Led Africa is playing a strategic role in identifying and promoting indigenous solutions. Since it emerged on the scene, Innovation-Led has made steady progress. Today, it is a go-to organic platform for startups' incubation and multiplication. Without a doubt, Innovation-Led SDGs framework offers Africans a community-based collaborative hub in the areas of mentorship, innovation capacity development, and entrepreneurship. Indeed, the emergence of an entrepreneurial bespoke IT ecosystem is perhaps the best way to precipitate the growth of the ICT sector with the development of relevant and functional solutions. The way Innovation-Led works is to constantly explore the relationship between technology and broader social issues. Everywhere Africa appears to be behind, Innovation-Led has become a bridge builder, an aggregator, and facilitator. It is spearheading efforts to contribute to efforts to build a digital ecosystem for innovation development in Africa. Innovation-Led has incredible long-standing strategic initiative research partners, including the Global Digital Foundation, ICT4, SIDS, Info Poverty World Conference, or Paris-owned Global and Amiable UN World Summit Awards WSA, eminent national experts from over 180 countries. These alliances have bonded innovation bed to advance actions towards the UN Sustainable Development Goal from across the respective countries. The World Summit Awards are a unique award system selecting and promoting local digital innovation to improve society, combining an ongoing series of international events and activities with a global network of startups, social entrepreneurs, mentors, jurors, speakers, experts, government leaders, academia, civil society. WSA is an international platform for cutting-edge examples of how ICTs can impact society positively. Innovation-led coordinational expert for Nigeria. Programos Foundation is engaged in significant work. It is helping Africa harness the power of technology. It is teaching Africa to innovate. The impressive and groundbreaking work that Programos Foundation has pioneered is particularly important in the light of the United Nations UN Decade of Action on the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). The Decade of Action calls for accelerating sustainable solutions to all the world's biggest challenges, ranging from poverty and gender to climate change, inequality, and closing the finance gap. Technology promises to play a larger-than-life role in this quest. Programos Foundation, through its work, offers Africa a huge chance and gives her a massive advantage. Programos Foundation may well be Africa's linchpin. Two important segments of Programos Foundation's multi-pronged approach include the Innovation Bed Africa and Smart City Project. Innovation Bed Africa is playing a strategic role in identifying and promoting indigenous solutions. Since it emerged on the scene, Innovation Bed has made steady progress. Today, it is a go-to organic platform for startups incubation and multiplication. Without a doubt, Innovation Bed SDGs framework offers Africans a community-based collaborative hub in the areas of mentorship, innovation capacity, development, and entrepreneurship. Indeed, the emergence of an entrepreneurial bespoke IT ecosystem is perhaps the best way to precipitate the growth of the ICT sector with the development of relevant and functional solutions. The way Innovation Bed works is to constantly explore the relationship between technology and broader social issues. Everywhere Africa appears to be behind, Innovation Bed has become a bridge builder, an aggregator, and facilitator. It is spearheading efforts to contribute to efforts to build a digital ecosystem for innovation development in Africa. Innovation Bed has incredible long-standing strategic initiative research partners, including the Global Digital Foundation, ICT4, SIDS, Info Poverty World Conference, or Paris-owned Global and Amiable UN World Summit Awards WSA, eminent national experts from over 180 countries. These alliances have bonded Innovation Bed to advance actions towards the UN Sustainable Development Goal from across the respective countries. The World Summit Awards are a unique award system selecting and promoting local digital innovation to improve society, combining an ongoing series of international events and activities with a global network of startups, social entrepreneurs, mentors, jurors, speakers, experts, government leaders, academia, civil society. WSA is an international platform for cutting-edge examples of how ICTs can impact society positively. Innovation Bed coordinates Nigeria's participation. The vision is clear: to address Africa's greatest socio-economic challenges through innovative technology solutions by offering opportunity platforms for growing quality and knowledgeable generation of startups in the new nation-building transformation agenda. Innovation Bed Startup Opportunities Gateway incubates for promotion, growing innovative African startups and impacting the ecosystem positively. In Nigeria, members of the Innovation Council comprise of outstanding digital entrepreneurs who have at one time or the other researched, designed, and developed great innovation with positive social impact on the Nigerian society and beyond. Programos Foundation's involvement in technology solutions embraces smart city. First is the appreciation of the fact that a smart city is not a computer. A smart city is a city that uses ICT to increase operational efficiency, share information with the public, and
Right, good morning here. My name is Mr. Amos Emmanuel, Programmer Software, and good morning. Thank you all for being here. Good morning. I think it's good time now, and I'm happy for the engagements, and we are here. I must say that this is one of the very important sessions to start the year with. Gives me that great privilege and opportunity to be able to engage almost perhaps my second largest, virtual meeting today. And the first was with some of my engagement with the United Nations about 2 weeks ago. Today, we will be honorably meeting with institutions, meeting with system administrators of trading license holders. And in the house, please permit me to introduce one of the very essential person for all of us. In fact, he's actually almost like one of those very key point persons there at the NGX that has been there for the purpose of the ecosystem's security. And he might share one or two things for us within a very few minutes, not too much.
Yeah, okay, see.
So please, can we mute? Can we mute?
Okay.
Please, can we mute ourselves for now, sirs? Thanks. So that he will be able to join us. He's in the house, I can confirm. And before we perhaps want to get into introduction, which we don't have that much time, please, you can leave intros on the chat. Let's know who you are, from what house, and all of that. But at this point, let me seize this opportunity to invite my dear friend, Mr. Olaoye. Mr. Olaoye?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good. Yeah, very well, very well, very well.
Okay, all right.
Very well.
Good morning.
Good morning. So please, this morning, just a bit of who you are and what you do. And like we say today, the majority of us are system administrators from stockbroking firms. And by virtue of the fact that we are pointed to security and of course securing the ecosystem is why our that attention was actually calling for that invitation to you. And I thank you so very much for honoring it. And please, just for a few minutes, let's just share one or two things that help some of us here in adhering to that compliance level. Thank you so very much, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Amos. My name is Akao Deolawi. I work with market regulation department. There's NJ Regulation Limited, compliance and enforcement unit of the market regulation limited. So this morning I'll talk timely VAPT exercise to trading license holder. So can I share my screen, please?
Oh, very well. Please go ahead.
Let me share my screen. Oh, please permit me because right now I don't have the rights.
Okay, no problem. 1 minute.
Permit me to share my screen.
Yeah, let me just confirm. Okay. Yeah, you can try now. You can try now, sir.
Okay, no, not physically. I've seen him about
please, can we mute yourselves if you are not speaking, please? Let's just mute if you are not speaking now. Thank you.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right. So I want to say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Sorry, we lost the sound, sir. Hello, Mr. Lawyer, we lost the sound.
Can you hear me now?
Very well.
Hello?
Very well. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, all right. So thank you, Mr. Amos, for the privilege to, to be on the call to have a few discussion with the system administrator of the trading license holder. And it's a privilege that they are here so that they'll be able to understand the relevance of timely vulnerability and penetration testing exercise by trading license holders. Let's go into the introduction. So introduction is that the importance of conducting timely vulnerability assessment, penetration testing is very key, for all the trading license holder. And why? Why the need for the vulnerability assessment is a way to assess their online trading portal. Okay, because that is the trading portal used by the trading license, by their traders, that are the investors, to buy and to sell on their platform. And this particular trading platform is very important. Otherwise, there could be issue like downtime on the portal. So we all know that we're in a digital landscape, and the online trading portal, they are prime of target for cyber threats. The bad guys, they are there, looking for a way to, to defraud or to attack. So the threats are no longer exotica. So they are real. It is real that the online trading portal is their prime target. And it is no longer theoretical, or is real, and it's evolving and increasingly sophisticated. So a single unaddressed vulnerability on the online trading portal can result in financial loss. So, talking about financial loss, reputational damage, regulatory consequence, and erosion of investor confidence. That is, if there's any issue on the online trading portal. So timely VAPT assessment and penetration testing is very important, not only for compliance purposes, but also for essential risk management mechanism, so that you ensure that any loopholes on the online trading portal is being managed or being attended to without allowing it to be exploited by the bad guys out there. Then we'll move on to the importance. Why is the need for yearly VAPT? VAPT means vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Early detection of vulnerability, is to be able to ensure that security weaknesses are identified. If there's any weakness on the online trading portal, we're able to identify it, because it enables the VAPT assessor to scan the online trading portal, identify weaknesses, security weaknesses, and also be able to recommend remediations for those weaknesses that were identified. So cyber attack do not wait for reporting cycles. Do not wait to maybe probably first half of the year. That was 31st of June, where you submit the first half. The second half of the year, where you submit the second cycle of the report. So any delay on this assessment can cause an increased risk on the online trading portal. Then the second importance is that protection of investor confidence. Now, the trading license holder operates in a trust-driven environment. And what do I mean? Investor and trust firm with sensitive financial and personal information. They want the trading license holder where their information or personal information will not be leaked out. And that's investor confidence. Then a breach can undermine not only the firm credibility, but also confidence in the broader market ecosystem. Because if an online trading portal is compromised, it will, the news will spread from one investor to another, and which house. And before you know it, there won't be confidence in using the online trading portal. The third importance of early exercise of VAPT to trading license holder is that regulatory compliance and compliance assurance. So timely VAPT demonstrates active adherence to regulatory requirements, because it's one of the requirements of the regulator. So it means you are complying with the requests of the regulator, like NGL regulations and global best practices. And it also reflects strong corporate governance and a commitment to maintaining secure trading operations. So the third one is the fourth one is continuous improvement of security postures. So cybersecurity is dynamic, it changes. So our system also evolves. So it's a way of upgrading. Upgrades are implemented. You upgrade you do patches, patch updates of systems and other, and also integrations. Is as in the process of those assessments. When anything is vulnerabilities identified, you need to fix it, you need to remediate it. And what you need is to probably do an upgrade to your online trading portal. Then it's also regular and timely VAPT to ensure that these changes are properly addressed or assessed and secure against emerging threats. So it's a way to ensure that all those identified security gaps are remediated because you need to upgrade it or update. Either you contact your vendor, software vendor, to do the remediations. And the last one, importance of the timely remediation exercise, is that a long-term cost efficiency. It prevents preventive security testing. It's made cost effective than incident response. So it's reduced financial or reputational costs associated with breaches, because when any of the online trading portals is compromised, then there is likely is a breach of the regulations rules, and it's the attract penalty. So we'll soon get to where you get to know the penalty that is associated with any breach on the rules of NGS regulations. Then coming here, we want to talk about the timeline for the trade license holder. The early engagement of the VAPT recognized vendor is very important. You don't wait till the last month of the cycle. For instance, between January and June, you can engage the VAPT assessor recognized by NGS early enough, so that one, they would to do the assessment or identify any vulnerability or weakness on the online trading portal. And not only that, the second aspect is that those identified vulnerability need to be remediated. You need to resolve it. You need to get in touch with your provider, whether the VAPT assessor or your independent software vendor, to fix it. Early engagement is very important. And also, you should also ensure that your systems is accessible to the VAPT assessor. Grant them necessary credentials to be able to log in and access it, and also ensure it is available for them to be able to carry out the assessment. Then another thing is that executive report is also very important. That is, a executive report should be backed up with a technical report. In that VAPT report you get from your assessor. And another thing that we need to know is that submit the comprehensive VAPT report on or before the submission deadline for first half of the year's 31st of June for the first half, while the second half is 31st of December of the year. We move on to the rules on online trading portal. The first one is that you need to, when you deploy an online trading portal, they need to obtain a no objection from NGL regulation. That is, the NGL will need to check what we call quality assurance on the online trading portal. And once it's checked and confirmed that it's okay, then we'll be given a no objections approval that you can deploy it to the online to your end users. Then also implement robust risk management system. Only duly registered clients are eligible on your online portal. Ensure that all the clients on the online portal are registered. The authentication and protections of applicable application with industry best standard authentication that must be login, and also two-factor authentication on the portal. You also implement a system of change management, that any changes you carry out on the online portal, you must document it. They must also monitor the activities as the obligation on the part of trading license holder. Then coming to KYC and others, you must do a comprehensive KYC exercise of all your clients, the one you onboard on the online trading portal. And also, you identify any illegal activities on the online trading portal, you must suspend or close such client's account. Then coming to VAPT, I've mentioned this, that you need to submit it on time, not later than 10 business days after receipt of the VAPT report or not more than 30 June for first half or 31st of December for the second half of the year. Then coming to sanction, there's a sanction penalty of 250,000 for any breach of these rules. And also, finally, at the description of the NJ regulation, your online training portal can be shut down if you don't abide with those rules. Then takeaway is that you must have a clear education of risk. Actionable remediation recommendation must also be carried out on the online training portal. Then accountability for remediation, timely closures of identified gaps. So as regulators, stakeholders, our objective is to ensure that training license holder operate resilient, secure, and reliable online training portal that uphold market integrity. So in conclusions, timely VAPT is not simply a regulatory checkbox. It is a strategic imperative, and it's a guide frame to protect investors and strengthen the overall capital market ecosystem. So let us therefore continue to promote strict adherence to VAPT timelines, high quality reporting, and effective remediation practices. So thank you for listening. If there's any questions, we're ready to respond to that. So this is the end of the presentation.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Laye there. Thank you so very much. And it's nice to have this in good time. Please, any question, please, let's take 1, 2 questions. So we just proceed. Can just Mr. Yahya Brahman, please.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Kake Olaoye, thank you very much for your presentation. Concerning the online training platform, actually, I don't know where is the issue coming from, but I noticed that we are having downtime most of the time on the platform anytime we are trying to trade. So, and the developer make us know that the issue is from NGS. The network will be connected and disconnect. Always like that.
Great. Sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Brahman. Mr. Brahman, this actually has been a common thing, but not for this session immediately, particularly for these units. Hello, Mr. Brahman.
I'm with you, sir.
Yes, please. This unit is not responsible for that attention, and that is why the goal for what we are doing now is commencing right now.
All right, sir.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Any question relating to this security thing? Because it's very key for all of you system administrators to particularly understand what exactly is the things to know. And that just like it's been expressed, as soon as the report has been sent to us, please always try to forward the feedback from us to the NGX along with the assessment of that particular season or period. Please, any other question? Otherwise, I will just, we can now continue. All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Laye, so dearly to have had this at this time, and is key in the course of my work here. And we thank you for championing all that in the NGX. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just continue. Permit me to prepare my environment. The whole exercise today is for us to identify. It's actually for us to identify the same application that is being used, what has changed, what has been new, where are those things when you have this upgrade. And that's the essence. And because we really could not have mixed it up with every other thing, is why we had to create the units differently so that we can have enough time to address them. And that is why this has commenced from the system administration, because your role is pretty vital, very, very vital. Oh, sorry, please. Let me take that call. Right, so please, thank you. Let me just know if you can get my screen. Sorry, hello?
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. Thank
yes,
you.
You can.
Right, thanks. So right now, actually, we want to look at what has changed, what is new, and where do you do things that you were doing previously, and perhaps if there is anything new. Now, first in the administration, I will give you an overview right now under the system administration module. Because we said the application is pretty broad and big, we are taking it unit by unit, and that is why today is system administration. And one of the things we need to look at or understand better in this module is that all those responsibilities of you managing access to the application, this is where the responsible officers have to address those things. And we'll just take them. I'll just give you a rundown of some of what we have planned for discussion today. Include user accesses. You want to create a user. You want not about creating the user, because it's not of your unit to create the users. The operations people do the creation of user accounts and portfolios, but it is actually the IT man that has to that has to give access to these users. Okay, so as a result of that, this module was now made available where we have the client user access. The client user access. At this point, you are particularly managing or anticipating to put, sorry, hello? Sorry, did I hear someone's voice? Okay, so this is actually where you do your user addition. So it's still there. You can still do your user addition. And for the existing accounts, particularly for clients, when you are creating a new user, of course, you are you are meant to add informations like you have here, searching for the customer and indicating whether the person should be able to trade or not able to trade. So that functionality is still there and is still so. And of course, in terms of your search, we've maintained that same search where you search and you can view any of the objects against the account. So it's still available. And same for staff users, people who are actually indoor. Now, the staff users who are indoor, you are actually also able to manage them in terms of editing certain things, like maybe a staff previously was given broker skilled and you don't want to give that person again. You can actually only come here to do edit, but please take note, you cannot change any other thing at this point, because this is not the right place to maintain a customer account. But this is just an administrative privilege allocation, whether to be able to trade or not to be able to trade. And once you do this edit, the account will be able to resume that power to go to the trading terminal, but you will not, not just that you will receive an additional mail for access, which is not, we're just talking about editing. So the other things is the area of resource. In fact, there is actually a long list of resources. In fact, some of these things sometimes it depends on the feedbacks that we get from some of our clients. Some of our clients have actually been telling us what they want, and it's nothing out of place. When you have an idea, there's something you want to do, and you put that together and you forward that to programmers, we will always attend to some of those things. That under this area, for instance, if you have your customers classified by way of relationship managers, and I'm sure people who are very, very active in this area may be Mr. Abdurrahman. Mr. Abdurrahman, you understand what I mean? So that if you have staff allocations and you have classified people with them, all those resources, you can actually select any of the relations officers. And once you have done with that, you can load their RM clients. And this will give you a detailed report of what you need, which was like some things we'll be looking for what to do, but we have actually brought all these things in one place. Now we have the RM, which is the relationship managers. We have the RO, which is the relationship officers. Just like auxiliary officers. And either you want to look at the RM alone, the ROs alone, or the RM or RO. That is if account officers, a kind of attachment, works in your organization. If it does not, you may not really bother about this, but the understanding is important. Then some global relationships that you may also have. Then also here, we may want to see direct cash settlement status of general customers. So also here, you'll be able to have a general picture. When you load all the clients, you'll be able to know generally the general picture of all customers, those who are direct cash settlements and those who are not. And this resource was put together to be able to help in getting that information readily from the admin point of view. Then online traders activity. Sometimes you want to actually know what the online traders have done. And you now have an area where some of that analysis will be able to pull things out, and that will be able to help you. Like you hear what they are talking about, customers working with you. There's a lot more footprints that we should be able to gather, and we should be able to report on. And that is why this is becoming very important. Then customer turnover are also some opportunities where you're able to know over time customers who are doing some volume of business from one period to another and for certain purposes. We just put all that together as what we call resource. And it's quite a whole heavy lot of things that we have brought from even the operations, and we've summarized everything here. And of course, this can now be possible in some other strategic places, maybe where internal control may need to consume them, because these are certain services that I think will be very important for them too. Then also a lot more there, online users and all that information is also additional things that we also get. Then also moving away from there is that companies sometimes even change. Your information do change from time to time. Your information do change from time to time, but for some reason, this information is sent to us to update. But we are trying to let you know that there are certain basic things that you'll be able to do. And please permit me, because I'm working directly from the source code. So once in a while, you might get into the code and I'll need to just click continue to the project. Now, this form is saying that you can actually modify anything of your company depending on what has changed. Oh, your address has changed. Your telephone number has changed. there was something about your official corporate email to be modified, and you can actually edit this internally, just like an internal process away. There's no big deal about it, So your logo can be changed. That is, even if the official logo needs to be changed. So these are additional things that you see that you can actually do, as it were. And of course, if you have references to your social media handles, they can be handled somewhere under the admin, which are the areas we are talking about. And also your documentation, especially contract notes and the likes, if you need these comments under them, because we have customers where names of directors have to show on contract notes. So there's a place here, you can list all valid directors. You can actually put certain comments here, like a marketing language and so on, and some other messages there. All these messages, once they have data, they are available for being published on some of your internal documentation that is going to customers. Right. Now, the other is about the email template. An email template is something rather very new and with an area of some flexibility, where that is the area you would have, that would also be helpful for your internal broadcasts. Now, this area is such that once you initiate, like the account opening, or rather the sign-on that you give to people, those access you are giving to people, the language that is written there was designed by us. Some of those languages, you may choose to want to modify it if you don't like it. So they are camera-ready environments that some of those messages can be designed, can be redesigned, and of course, whatever you now have is what the system will be using. If it was just hello, and you say happy new day, or whatever it is, the language you choose to want to change ours to, you can actually modify. But please take note that any such broadcast would have to go through approval. And that is why anything done here is subject to approval. You understand? So when things go, like for instance, in this case, the system is saying that if it wants to broadcast, it's saying like 1,473 customers to broadcast to. Now, out of all this, how many batches or something would it create and things like that? Because the system would have to create batches and begin to schedule the dispatch and all that. So we actually will let you know on implementing some of these additional features in there. And that is the idea about broadcast. But like I said, your broadcast will be subject to approval, and your approval is done under what we call the dual control module in the bond equity area. You will also agree with me that sometimes we agree or disagree on statutory parameters. Those statutory parameters were not cast in stone. If you have a better information, right? If we have a better information, you can actually confirm yourself and have those things modified to suit what you think is right. But I think sometimes it's best you share your observation so that someone can know if truly that idea you have is right. Because sometimes the information that we have actually came also from the market guideline and information that we have as at the last time. And if nothing has changed, we do not feel that we should begin to tweak or change them anyhow. So to edit an existing one, for instance, I can just click on an action here, and it will list to me whatever that is like the transaction band can be modified internally. But before to do this, you need to get the approval of your internal brokerage or stockbroker, who should really be the person to know and understand that commission charging, like on the buy side, what is it? There are rates. Those rates have to be in line with the statutory, Because if you come here and go to change, whatever you change to, the next transaction will be respecting your last updates. So that is why it's important that you are very sure of what you want to go here to go and change. That's why you don't just go to edit statutory parameter, but you are going there to change, provided something was changed by the regulators or something was there as being there in error. And you can do that for sales side. Additional parameters may include if you have commission sharing concept internally, and all of that was why this was that done. But the whole idea is about the rates at which brokerage is charged, the SEC fee, the depository, the withholding, anything, the COT, if it's depending on which is appropriate. So that was something you can do. And one thing, please, about each of these forms, there will always be an education page. The education page guides you as to what happens on that page and what that page is all about. So that's why we are keeping in terms of documentation of manual. Everything is on the pages of the program. So it's a lot easy for you to view and run with some of the things that you want to do with it. Right, then, okay, we've looked at email, we've looked at the other matter being the credit limits. Let me see if I have the credit limit management for some of us who sometimes want to kind of offer credit limits to customers. And the reason is that what we are trying to do here is that you are actually confirming that you are taking a risk. Now, and to the system, we want to be sure that somebody who is taking the risk, somebody who is taking the risk must be there. We must know who is actually taking that risk so that it is easy to, let me just confirm if I can pick this from this environment. Okay, sorry. Like I said, I'm actually working from the code and this may not be feasible. But then in the credit limits, when you have a customer that has maybe ₦1 million, and it's the case where you have a customer where you have ₦1 million as a customer balance, and you are trying to pay ₦1 million, ₦1 million, maybe 1.1 million, you cannot be able to pay that 1.1 million except if somebody is approving the 100,000 additional. And the only way is when the 100 million has been booked under the credit limit. And why is it going through the administrator? Maybe it is the MD that is giving the authorization. It is important that the MD does this by himself, or he expressly writes the administrator to give the credit limit so that 1.2 million will be paid by the account. Otherwise, they will not be able to pay 1.1 million. But 1 million is payable, and that is what will happen. But if you really need to take the additional exposure of 100,000, then credit limit is something that you must add to the account, and it must be to the tune of the additional value that you need. Or sometimes people don't even have anything. It could be nil account, or they are even in debits. You know, a nil account wants to buy. With what are you buying? That means you're actually automatically granting that person a credit of no interest, because that's exactly what it is. Now, the other is about, let me see the certify approach. Let me see if the certify approach would be okay. Okay, the certify approach. That's the about user accounts. About user accounts that you want to certify, where they may have been blocked or they may have been whatever. Now you are granted the privilege. You are actually granted the privilege to unblock. We'll direct that to you, to unblock, but we only do certification for a newly created account. So now it is easy for us to see all the listed people, and all these people and the various roles that they are currently on, and you can do better roles management of these people. I mean, in terms by way of support, we'll spend more time on this, because if you have cost to change somebody's role, or if you have cost to address some other things, and the system has the ability to give you a few footprints analytics, based on what people in the system, what they are currently doing, and all of that. People whom you have created, for some reason, they've not been certified, or users that you have created, for some reason, they've not reset their passwords, because sometimes this gives you some problem. So if they've not certified, what may be the problem? So this will give you some password follow-up and history that could make some sense. And at the same time, we also do some intelligence around some of these facilities that we are also bothered about, sometimes the logs into the system, because if there is any strange login, the system has the ability to report on such accounts, and it has an ability to bar and even report such accounts that were bad. If accounts are bad, you can't unbar. There will be special reasons why that status will be flagged on any account. And those things are more of very serious security concerns, because we are talking about being on the internet. So anything can actually happen. So they are just all provisions for user management and security as to what it is. Because the business here is that your main business is to understand how to create new users, manage your profile, manage the people, and not even more about the operation. Because in some places, some system administrators are not even allowed to post into anything. They don't post any transaction, So entity role mapping is also there, where this is actually where if you create a role, how do you define your roles? Now, so that is still available on this version. Of course, these are the foundations. Security is actually the foundation, that if you have a role called compliance, like for instance, the compliance people, the administrators need to understand the relationship between the system administrator and the compliance person. Now, the compliance person in any application should be able to be given or granted the privilege to view reports. Compliance officers may not necessarily have to post. They don't post. But it depends on how you have configured them. Now, if you have configured, for instance, if you have configured like a particular role, maybe accounts, at least people should be able to go into the accounts module. They may not go to any other module, but accounts module is just basic, that they should be able to go there. So the other is that if you create like a broker, then there should be a place where the broker should at least should be able to access the OMS, and so to access the basic operations area, maybe under the bond equity. So that's why when the operations were set, your role in one company A may not necessarily be the same as in another company B. Your internal personnel framework matters a lot. It really matters a lot. Like I hear in some places, like for instance, some drivers, anytime some drivers are idle in some places, 1 minute, please. Let me just confirm my code is not expecting that I do something, okay? Okay, so I'll just say continue. Now, in some places when some drivers are less busy, they give them some work to do on the system. So even drivers can even log in, but they would have defined specific roles that will enable them do what the company is asking them to do, so that if I pick, say, for instance, a particular unit, say compliance, like I said, okay, if I pick compliance, the next is I want to say, how is compliance defined? Who and what and what, or where can they go? So, and I come here, entity role, particularly for users. Okay? Particularly for users. Okay? Now, I could say that for this person, I check it. I want this person to join the compliance team. So you can add, and this will send a mail to this officer that he has now been given the tonic to work under compliance. Vice versa, if tomorrow something happens that role must change, management says no, that person must not be in compliance. So it's also the responsibility of management and the administrator to also come back to that definition, because you are modifying definition, and these definitions are internal policies. So that you can now come here, but if I say add, this will send that person and will become just like a class of compliance people. That classroom will be filled. And if you notice, that person is in that class as compliance. That means anyhow you have defined compliance, that is how the person will operate on the application. So it's just the same things. We have not changed, and the system says success, one item added to role successfully. And the officer in question has at this point received a mail that he has been given that responsibility now to work under their compliance role. Now, the next is, how is that role defined? And that is what we often do under that's what we often do under, is that entity role mapping? Yes. That's what we often do under entity role mapping. So, and please, for any one of you, if you think you have any issue in these areas, you've not been doing it before, because most of you have just been working because these things were just there. But you can change. But please, I'm not saying go and change. You can only change if your management says something is to change. But at the same time, you can actually influence what changes. So if we say here, say accountants, oh, sorry, could this be, oh, sorry, that was the same one I just did. So I actually needed role permissions, please. I actually needed role permissions. Role permission is actually where do you define the role? You must be able to define the role. Ability to define a role is based on management policy about an activity. It's not given. And that's why it can never be that F securities is doing one same policy and D securities is doing the same. No. Take, for instance, if I say accountant, the accountant here, in the gamut of all the things possible on the software, we should be able to limit what the person is doing. And that is why the security on this application is, we say it is granular. The footprint is trackable. So there's actually no fear. What you don't want somebody to do, the person can never do such. So, and you are able to still define, oh, the person is in this unit, is in this unit, is in this unit. It's just to check something on or off. Simple. If it is off, automatically this thing is off that window for him. If it is to see the GL, I give it to him. Add yes, edit yes, view yes. And every other one can be unchecked. And once I'm good, I can just submit. I just submit. So by the time you are modifying all that, that is how you set your in-house management principle about application, about your operations on the application. When you log in, some of us are already doing it, but some of us may not really have that knowledge. And that is why it is important to understand that roles permission is the starting point of the definition of what activities people do. Okay? Let me just see